Fire Marshal Altum City, and he and I have had conversations throughout the years of how much we really need an ESD for the city of Reno. So there was another petition that was submitted requesting ESD 10 that had far more than the 69 signatures for ESD 1's petition. It was close to 150. Also, the council voted and we wanted to get the ESD 10. I feel like the majority of the citizens of Reno want to keep our local Reno Fire Department. ESD 1 no doubt does a great job. I don't have any concerns about that, but I do have concerns about the closest station being La Junta, and the majority of Reno going to be outside that 5 miles on our homeowners insurance. When the ESD 10 was struck down, it really felt like our voices were silenced and all the voices of the ones that signed the petition were disregarded. I definitely agree that we need the ESD 10, or ESD in general. But I just think that it's not really fair that everybody that lives in Reno that signed that petition and the city council, we feel like we're just disregarded and silenced. And like I said, that definitely isn't a knock to ESD 1.
Just for clarification, we're not the governing body.
I understand, yes, yeah. So the concerns with having a station built in Reno off of 1542, it was 1542, no Hill, right? Where it was supposed to be, gonna be built, well, of course, that's gonna take some time.
Just somewhere in that area.
Yeah, and there's going to be a time gap no matter what, and during that time gap, we're kind of left hanging and wondering what's gonna happen next. Are we gonna be dropped by our homeowners insurance because we suddenly don't have a centrally located fire department? Because there is going to be a time gap between the time when something does get built. And so also, like my husband said, what's that station gonna look like? But I'll wrap it up. So thanks for listening today, and I mean, absolutely no disrespect to ESD 1. I just wanted to make sure I could get up and have our voices heard, even if I'm just one representing many. So thank you guys, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments and your time today. Jordan Fowler. State your name and who you represent.
Yes, I'm Jordan Fowler. I live at 808 Backwood Court in Azle, 76020. I represent, I'm the chairman of the SPAC, Save Reno PC. I am strongly for remaining a city. What I'm not as sure about is which fire service would be better for the city. So I'm here today to ask some questions that could hopefully bring clarity from concerns I've heard and questions. I'm going to have equally challenging questions for Chief Druxman. So I will read quickly because I have 3 minutes. So number 1, transition in timing and emergency call routing. Concern. Many residents are concerned about the potential for delays in emergency response during the transition due to the differences in dispatch systems and computer-aided dispatch mapping between Briar, Reno, and ESD1. The question is, can you provide 100% assurance that the night immediately after Reno Briar Fire Services ends, any 911 call placed from Reno will be routed correctly and responded to by ESD1 without delay? If not, how much time before this is fully integrated? 2, service gap in funding before November. Concern. There will be a gap between the end of Briar Reno's fire service and November vote to approve ESD1 taxation rate for Reno residents. We've been told the county will arrange for ESD1 coverage during this time. My question is, since ESD1 cannot tax Reno residents without prior voter approval, how will ESD1 services be legally funded and authorized during this interim period? How can such a service agreement proceed before residents have voted to join ESD1? I've seen the presentation on the 10-cent tax rate, so that's an moot question. The follow-up is how much revenue will this bring ESD one? Third point, longer response times from ESD one existing stations. If you Google map travel times from ESD one station, it shows response delays compared to our current coverage. For example, in our two northern subdivisions of Scenic Woods and Rocky Top, there are currently a 9-minute drive, while projected ESD one times are 15 minutes. The question, given these longer distances, can ESD one guarantee that response time for Reno residents won't be slower than they are today? And finally, ISO and PPC ratings and the 5-mile standard. ISO and PPC ratings affect our insurance premiums. Rates are directly affected by whether a property is within 5 road miles of a fire station, as we have heard. Currently, over 50% of Reno residents lie outside the radius from that station. According to the Texas Department of Insurance, this would likely cause a split rating of 3-10. If ESD1 becomes Reno's fire provider, when can you guarantee the construction of a new station that brings all Reno residents within the crucial 5-mile radius? By what date? Do you currently have the apparatus to serve a station in Reno? How can you assure we avoid the pool wheel scenario where a vote occurred in 2015 but the station was not built until sometime later? And has there been any search for available land for the station? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments and your time. Greg Hodgen.
Good morning.
State your name and who you represent.
Gregory Hodgen, I'm just representing as a citizen. I'm the one who carried the petition around, and I was helped with Joy Jenkins, and we put this together in 3 days to go in. Tim was in Commissioner's Court, and we just wanted to present an alternate. And I've been trying to get involved with ESD1 since going back to 2010. Linda Stokes, he was mayor. And nobody would ever tell me how we could do this, or I'd have done this long ago. And it's nothing personal against the people there. They've done a great job with what the resources that they have. It's just that you guys, your base, your tax base, the sales and property is, and then everything you provide together is just not, it's not even comparable. And so I just feel like we're doing our citizens a disservice by not considering you guys to come in and take over our fire protection. I know there's some gaps and some questions, but I know right now Reno Briar's station in Briar is roughly still within that range of the 5 miles, and it's not going to completely probably cover, but my point I wanted to bring up, because it's been brought up, that assuming Briar still stays intact with their funding from Tarrant, if this all goes the way you might have told it would, that there should still be coverage at 5 miles. So I think that's about it. I think the other people covered. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your comments and your time today. Eric Hunter. State your name and who you represent.
My name's Eric Hunter, citizen of Reno. I live at 1000 South Reno Road. Just wanted to come in and express my support for placing, joining ESD1 on the ballot, especially when the alternate option may be to form a new SD, which is not financially viable. It's clear that the financial strength and stability of ESD1 surpass any potential benefits offered by creating a new ESD. The established infrastructure, resource allocation, and proven track record of ESD1 demonstrate a level of efficiency, fiscal responsibility that would be incredibly difficult to replicate with a newly formed district. The cost of establishing a new ESD, including administrative overhead and other costs, would place an unnecessary and significant financial burden on taxpayers. ESD1 already efficiently manages these resources. Many here today have spoken about the gap in coverage, the 5-mile area. I think that could have been easily resolved with like an interlocal agreement with Briar Reno. Those concerns arise, concerns that arose around the statements by Chief Druxman at the Commissioner's Court meeting. He implied that should citizens choose to go with ESD1, that they would no longer cooperate. This stance is, to me, it's a direct contradiction of fundamental principle of public safety organization. The fire department's primary duty is to prioritize public safety above all else. To suggest that cooperation would be withheld based on political outcome is not only irresponsible, but it's dangerous. I'm also profoundly disturbed at the recent engagement of the Reno Fire Department, which would be ESD 10, in city politics, specifically concerning an upcoming election. A fire department funded by taxpayer dollars, even if through contract, should not be utilizing its resources to pursue political agendas. Their focus should remain on safeguarding our community, responding to emergencies, and not political maneuvering. This diversion of resources and attention raises serious concerns and questions about the department's priorities and its commitment to public safety. The notion that a vital public safety organization would leverage its influence to sway political outcomes instead of ensuring seamless protection for all residents is unacceptable. We need assurances that our fire services are dedicated solely to serving our safety, not advocating political agendas. I feel certain that ESD 1 would place public safety above any politics, and in conclusion, I urge you to consider the clear financial advantages of maintaining ESD 1 for the citizens of Reno to place it on the ballot to allow us to vote. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments and your time today. Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? All right, I will ask Chief Watson to hopefully be able to answer some of the questions that you have.
I'll turn around and face the crowd. First of all, I just want to applaud you as members of your community to come and ask questions and even ask tough questions. Your public safety is extremely important, right? It's your life and your property that you're seeking to be protected. So thank you for taking that seriously. That's a very good thing that you're here and that you're doing. So I'll just kind of take it from the top in order. I made some notes on my computer here to Mr. Vogel's questions. So the current response in Reno, Parker County is divided up into fireboxes, if you will, which you're probably familiar with. They're geographic boundaries that have a response layer or a running order of different fire stations to respond in a certain running order. So we frequently respond into Reno now through basically automatic aid, depending on the call type. So medical call comes in, that's what we call a still alarm or a single resource response. Our Reno Fire Department takes that call, right? A structure fire comes in, and I think depending on where it is may depend on what all we send. Oftentimes, pretty well almost anywhere in Reno, if a structure fire comes in, Engine 51, which is the station at Midway and 199 responds as part of that assignment, and typically AZL is responding into Reno as well. I can tell you that in the last roughly 3 years, we've made 158 unit responses into Reno for various types of incidents. So, and that's just as far back as we've gone. We've got records going back 10 years. But so in some cases, it's 2 engines, a tanker, and a battalion chief that respond in on a structure fire. It really depends on what the incident is. So that's how it works today. And to be fair, there are certain areas, especially on our eastern side, that we call for automatic aid from Engine 49 out of Briar Reno to fill out our response assignment in certain areas, especially in our Station 51 coverage area over there. Oftentimes our staff tanker is sent, based on the records that I was looking at, is sent to augment water supply. So we have, and I'll kind of jump to the water supply piece for a second, because I know you guys have some challenges with your water system over there. We have a 320 square mile challenge